Hi, I'm Eric D'Amato.
And I'm the guinea pig again.
Welcome to a new episode of Mindbreakers.
Yes.
Got a special movie here. Movie from my childhood.
It's in a brown paper bag. I'm scared.
I don't want him. I didn't tell him what it is beforehand because I didn't want him to look it up and for it to make more sense. And now it's time. Gio, open the bag.
I get to do the honors?
You get to do the honors,
Lovely.
Gio. Tell the audience.
Oh, it's on VHS.
Of course it's on VHS. That's what we're watching today.
That's what I can tell so far. Oh no! It's Gumby the movie!
Gumby the movie.
Why is it Gumby the movie?
Because I've been too easy on my guests so far.
Oh no!
Bad sword sorcery films, vampires in space, time for something.
Why aren't I more drunk?
Because it's 9:14 in the morning, Gio.
I need to be drunk for this.
Something that'll actually break a man's psyche.
Oh my god. Gumby. Why did it have to be fucking Gumby? Shit, man. I wasn't expecting this today. You caught me off guard. I'm not ready.
He was once a little green slab of clay.
Oh, fuck.
Gumby. Let's do this shit.
Yay!
Gumby's back in his biggest adventure yet. Join Gumby and his band, the Clay Boys, as they organize a benefit concert to save the small farmers.
I like the sound of farmers' benefit.
But when their arch nemesis turns Gumby and his friends into robot clones, it's up to our green hero to take on his robot clone. Join Gumby and his friends on this exciting journey through Toyland and beyond. The Gumby Movie Director's Cut. First time on DVD, spring 2008.
Mission accomplished, Pokey.
Yeah, things are looking up around here now.
I'm ready.
What the sweet buttery fuck did we just watch?
A movie. It was a movie, Mary.
Okay. The Gumby movie, to be specific.
The Gumby movie. Oh.
So,
This is a garbage can.
it is a garbage can. The plot of this film, scene by scene, if we can do it.
Oh my god, are we going to be able to follow the plot of this movie?
Generally.
This movie was everywhere. This movie was
we start
insane.
We start out where all great movies start out. We begin in space! The titles are in space, and then we're on the moon! Watching the Gumby show on the moon!
We're on the Moonrunner Cinema, which Warriors come out to play.
Warriors!
I imagine
And
just
then
the
we-
Moonrunners sit here and just play the Gumby movie over and over again.
It would explain a lot. We zoom in slowly on planet Earth,
On planet
and then we zoom in onto a city called Gumbasia.
Gumbasia. Which, by the way, better than Metropolis.
And then we zoom in further to a store, which is like a pair of brontosauruses sewn ass to ass, called Dinosaur. But, actually getting ahead of ourselves, at first, Gumby and Pokey are merged into one entity, and are the monolith from 2001: A Space Odyssey, until they, exude lightning, and split into two, and then they go to Earth.
Yep.
And then they go to the rest of the...
And they had to wake up Gumby at the beginning of the movie, by the way. To become the monolith and come down to Gumbasia.
With, weird space chatter.
Yep.
Oh god. And,
This was a movie and a half.
And then they land, and then Pokey lands on a bunch of clay, and then oh, by the way, Pokey is this red pony creature.
Yep.
And Gumby's a green thing. You guys know Gumby.
Everybody knows what Gumby is, but nobody knows what Gumby actually is.
Slab of clay. He can
I
walk
need you
into
out of
any
clay.
book with his pony pal Pokey too. And
And they're a
the
band in this
Gumby
movie,
goes
by the
off,
way.
and then Pokey's, and then the band called the Clay Boys.
Yep.
Which has only two of the members we see in the car. These are Thinbuckle the badass flying V electric backup guitarist,
Yes.
and Fat Buckle, who is the drummer.
Yep. And
The other one we don't meet yet.
Yeah.
There's also a little dog, a wiener dog in the car called Low Belly, who is central to the plot of the film, but we'll get to that later.
Yes.
Who is just rocking out to heavy metal in the car.
Yeah, he just has a boombox. This dog has a boombox in the backseat of this car.
And this is the thing,
and
it's a normal wiener
pops
dog.
up. Yep, he's a normal wiener
The
dog.
the others are like weird Picasso clay monstrosities. He's
Yeah.
just a wiener dog.
Yep, and then this dog just just jumps onto this boombox and just slams on the play button
With his face.
with his face and turns on the best 90s rock I've heard
Then
in
they're
a
like,
while.
they're like, hey, Pokey, tell Gumby to meet us for rehearsal at the barn. He's like, yeah, if I'll do it if I feel like it. And then we see Gumby, and he's in... what we see is Gumby, who is in racism.
Yes.
Because he's watching Native American dances, which they're all just wearing masks and going...
They're all wearing masks.
It's what you'd think.
They all have feathers on their heads.
And they're going the... Like, the throat singing by people who don't know what throat singing is. And then one of them starts casting a spell at Gumby.
And they all got... Wait, is this where they all have maracas? They have
One has
maracas at
maracas.
one point.
Because Native Americans had maracas.
Yeah, because they're all Cuban Pete. All Cuban Pete. So...
And because Native Americans for North America are exactly the same as the native tribes that would be in, say, Mexico.
Yep.
It's all the same.
All the
Apparently.
same racism. It's all the same racism.
And so he escapes quickly and then goes into it, and then they're looking for him in books, and Pokey goes into a book called African Dance, and he gets attacked by a fucking rhino.
Yeah, he just goes into this book, and it's just like, oh, you're in Africa, so obviously there's a rhino
Who
that's
wants
gonna chase
to
you.
kill you.
Yep, immediately.
You don't
And
even
will
have
show up again by the end of this movie.
Yes. And then Gumby goes into a book called Dervish Dances and learns dervish dancing. That's not really important, though.
It kind of is.
And then
It kind of is.
we forgot something, actually. This is after, but Pokey's still looking for Gumby. Then we meet two new characters. Prickle, who's some kind of vague dinosaur.
He's a dinosaur, and he knows he is a dinosaur, but he doesn't know what a dinosaur is.
And then there's Goo,
And then
who's
there's
this blue flying thing, and I don't know what she is.
She's an anomaly.
She is the anomaly.
She's the glitch in the Matrix.
It's her.
She
the
might
anomaly.
as well be. She might as
Should
well
we
be the
proceed?
glitch in the Matrix.
Of course, she is, after all, only human. Then she and Prickle go down a slide, but she smashes into Pokey, and then they Cronenbergian fuse into like one entity with three heads, and have to call the doctor.
And I freaked out. I was scared of this.
You were actually freaking out.
I kind of called it though. I was like, okay, are they going to just fuse into just one massive, just like one whole,
Yep.
like one whole being? I called that shit. I called a lot of stuff in this movie, surprisingly.
Oh, we also meet Gumby's dad as a firefighter. He's not
That
really.
too,
He's
yeah.
nothing with him at this moment important.
Yeah, he can speak of nothing but the fire.
Push wheel.
Where's fire? But we'll get to that later.
Yeah. And so they go to the doctor. The doctor has this machine that magic science fuses, like splits them into, it splits them into two of themselves.
Yeah.
And somehow they can undo it. I thought it would be easy. Just kill the clones. I don't use them for slave labor. I don't know how this world works. And then they can go and it's free. And that passes without being mentioned again. So they're looking for Gumby.
They're trying to find Gumby because
he finds them, and then they all go to the barn, and they find out though that we see that the villains of the film, blockheads.
Yeah.
One has a block with a G, one has a block with a J.
I just called them G and J. That's it.
JJ and Jeff.
GJ and
So they're
Jeffrey.
It's George and Jungle,
George and Jungle.
or George and John. Let's call them the blockheads.
They're just blockheads in general.
The literal sense, in the most
Yeah.
literal sense. Now they run an easy loan, and they're giving out eviction notices to farmers. And then you see the human characters in this, and my God, are these things terrifying? Because they look almost real,
Yeah,
but not quite.
they look horrifying. They just look creepy.
It's no Aardman.
It's
Aardman's
terrible.
was really good at animating people.
All of like the actual looking people in this movie look
Fucking scary.
just terrified the shit
I mean,
out of
I'm
me.
fine with like Gumby and the Clay
Yeah.
Boys because they're not supposed. They're just,
You say you watched this back when you were a kid?
yes.
If I watched this back when I was a kid, I'd be fucking horrified constantly. The whole time watching this fucking movie, I would be scared shitless.
explains a few things about my psyche, doesn't it?
I know, it really does.
And then they practice, and then Lowbelly's watching them play. Pokey's sad, so I won't leave the car
Yeah.
because he's feeling left out. And then the guys they're playing their music, and then Gumby shapeshifts, and then Lowbelly cries a fucking pearl.
Yep. Because apparently the dog can do this in this movie. They've gone the
I've
whole
only
time
seen
having the dog, apparently.
I've only seen the 50s show where he wasn't there. I haven't seen the Adventures of Gumby,
Yeah.
where I don't know about this dog.
Yeah, but apparently this whole time he was able to do this. He was
This is
apparently able to cry pearls.
Yep.
This
Oh, the
whole
dog
time.
can skateboard, by the way.
Yeah, the dog.
Because it's the 90s, so
Yep.
we can skateboard.
Although he
Listen
just kind of slumps down onto
Well,
it.
it's because he's a
sometimes.
wiener dog who has useless
Yeah.
fucking legs.
He just slumps down onto it and just kind of like rolls it, perpetuates himself forward with his momentum.
And so they find the pearl while they're eating food.
Yeah.
After Gumby finds Pokey, that he says, "Hey, you can be in the shows," and then yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, the talent agent.
Yeah, he's not. We're getting to him.
Yeah.
And so Gumby, they find the pearl, and then Gumby they find out it's pearl, and Gumby says, "I'm going to take this to Professor Cap, who is this weird red egg man."
Yeah.
He's
He's
just-
Dr. Eggman.
He is Dr. Eggman, who sounds like Ed Wynn. He sounds like the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland, the Disney version.
Oh, lovely! It's time for tea. I hope no one comes into my lab and just spills everything over. Oh, and then he does.
A very happy birthday to you.
By the way, Gumby just walks into the science
lab.
lab.
Oh, yes, this is really important. Gumby and like all the characters in this can travel through books.
Yep. And they just appear through walls.
But he
in the
knocks
world.
over a thing of randomly colored chemicals. It all looks like various flavors of men.
Yeah,
to
but
me.
yeah,
But knocks over,
very
and it's
surprised.
steaming.
Yep.
You are lucky, Gumby. You didn't knock over something that exploded, was a really powerful acid, or was some kind of horrifying disease.
Yes, or it will turn you into like a goat person.
or the stuff that, but you're not lucky. That's not the random assortment of chemicals that the Flash knocked over while smoking to become the Flash.
That's actually a thing.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Golden Age Flash.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yep.
Good job, Wally. You
No, this
fucking
is
retard.
this wasn't Wally West. This was the first Flash.
The
You know
first
the one
Flash.
with the Mercury with the Hermes helmet.
Oh.
But this is not important for what we're talking about right now.
Anyways.
And
So
he
yeah,
analyzes the pearl with a machine that can do this, which he has
because he just
why
has
not?
a pearl analyzing machine.
And apparently, it's a real pearl. It's worth $2,400.
$2,400.
And then,
Or was it near $1,000 or something?
yeah, it's $2,400 is over $1,000.
Oh, okay.
$2,400 is $2,400.
My bad.
And then stuff of no consequence happens. And then we're doing the show, the musical.
Yep.
That they play a bunch of weird ass, creepy humans watching.
Which, yeah, they just play in a farm, apparently.
A lot of teleportation, and then the blockheads are there watching with a with a stereo. Don't know why you bring a stereo to a rock concert, you idiots.
Yeah, exactly. Douchebags.
And then they see the dog start crying, and they see that it's crying pearls. Like, we are evil, so if you have an idea, they never speak.
Yeah,
but they steal the pearls.
Yeah, and then they take the
no, not yet.
Yeah, but they take the pearls to don't they? Yeah, they just take the pearls and then it's true. Later on,
and then later on, but and then they take the pearls. Then everyone goes,
which I called what happens later at this point.
Then they go to lunch, and they have to leave Low Belly in the car, because even though this is a world of chaos and anarchy where nothing makes sense, restaurants still don't allow dogs, even though they have fucking robots as waiters.
Yep.
Robots that suck. So they're eating there, and there's a running gag with Prickle not being able to get a strawberry thick shake because the robot fucking hates him and just dumps it on the table.
Yeah, because
Or
the
smacks
robots
him in
hate
the-
all of humanity and will assault you at all times.
Fear the robots.
Fear the robots. This is the Terminator, by the way.
It
turns into the
It
Terminator.
really does. And then, the blockheads show up, kidnap the dog, bring it back to their lab, make a robot duplicate of the dog, and so they can get it to cry pearls.
Yeah, they just have a machine. They have a machine
that talks in Microsoft Sans voice.
And will...
Ready to activate.
I love the robot voice in this fucking movie.
So they just make a robot dog, and then Lobely knocks his thing of water onto the dog, and the robot dog electrocutes. So they just use magic science to fix it. And then they replace it with that. And then the robot waiter kidnaps Gumby and brings him to a talent agent who, I'm not fucking kidding, is Groucho Marx. He has the hair, he has the eyebrows, he has the mustache and the glasses.
It's Groucho Marx.
Except he sounds a bit like Stanley.
He talks
like this.
He talks like this.
And he signs him on the label to do a record thing.
Yeah, he dumps him on the
any
table.
other movie centered around a rock band, this guy would be the villain.
We're very surprised that he doesn't turn out to be a bad guy in this.
Just a comic relief character.
Yeah, he's just kind of there
so
to book the gigs and whatnot.
They sign to the label, and then they meet him at the Gumby and the Clayboys at the farm.
By the way, Gumby just has an office in this farm.
Made of hay.
So
they're signed to do some music videos.
Yep.
And but the blockheads find out, oh, this recording won't work. It has to be the live performers to get them to do it. So obviously, we're gonna kidnap the Clayboys and make robot clones of them.
Because we got this machine that apparently living things into robots.
Well, that makes robots that can holographically clone them.
Clone living things and turn them into robot clones.
One thing that confuses is they do all three Clayboys. We meet another Clayboy who's the bassist, by the way, who's asleep. He's fucking lazy. He's the bassist. Of course, he's fucking
is the
lazy.
laziest.
It's called No Buckle. And just they put the three of them in the thing. How would the machine know which robot to put the hologram on if you're doing three at the same time?
That's a good question.
And then at the farm, after the blockheads come over in disguise and kidnap, trick the Clayboys into going into the freezer truck, and then make the robot duplicates. And then Lowbelly gets covered in shit. The robot Lowbelly?
Yeah.
Robelly? So they give him a bath, and then he electrifies, and his flesh sloughs off.
Yeah, because
if this wasn't claymation, this would be horrifying.
It really would. If for some reason they made this a live action or half live action,
it would be R.
This would be fucking.
And directed
scary.
by Walter Cronenberg.
Yep.
And then they send the Thin Buckle robot out to kidnap Gumby and make a robot duplicate of him. All through this, two characters called Tara and Ginger, who are so useless.
They're the most useless.
Their only purpose is to just state the obvious.
Yep. All of their dialogue is just obvious thing here. This thing just does this thing.
And then they do tell the people that the new Gumby's a robot duplicate of Gumby.
Yep.
And then Goo can fly and shoot balls of clay at his face, and then they going fast because not a lot of this is really relevant. And then they go to they find the lab, and these fuckers can't remember the name of the book. Electronics and Robots.
Yeah, they can't remember the fucking name of the book, and that just confuses.
They go in, they rescue Gumby, and they kind of just leave the other Clayboys.
Yep.
And they rescue Lowbelly. And then the Clayboys deploy the Gumby robot again after it gets the goo off its face.
Yep.
And then we get the chase from Terminator 2.
Yep, and then the movie becomes Terminator.
And then it
straight up takes Terminator 2.
Chases Gumby chasing Gumby, he escapes into a King Arthur movie.
Yeah.
There's a blacksmith. He goes to see a blacksmith. He's like, "Hey, I need a suit of armor and a sword." Well, we don't have any swords. It's like the first level of the Ocarina of Time. We sell shields, but not swords.
He's probably good friends with this guy. I have an idea that they're very good
And
friends.
then he just makes a suit of armor for this weird green oblong-headed weirdo.
Yeah, because
I don't know why
passes by here
I don't know
sometimes.
why he needs armor since he's indestructible, and this just keeps him using shape-shifting powers.
Yeah, they might as well have just it's like they basically could have taken just Gumby and thrown him in a tin can.
And then
crushed him.
Gumby's trying to get the sword and the stone out. Actually, I make this mistake. A lot of people make this mistake sometimes. Excalibur is not the sword and the stone.
Yeah.
Excalibur is a sword given to Arthur by the Lady in the Lake.
Yep.
Oh yeah, this movie. By the way, this movie takes Arthurian legend,
Yeah.
bends it over the table, and fucks it.
And it just takes both of those. It takes the Excalibur and it takes King Arthur's whole story of.
And we have the knights of the round table before the sword's been taken out of the stone.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
And
how
now the
fuck is
robot
that?
takes the sword out of the stone and kicks Gumby's ass. Gumby's using a pike, and I'm sorry, pikes are better made than that. You can't just cut one in half with a sword,
But no,
or
that
else they
doesn't
have no
matter.
purpose.
You're saying this in a movie
I
where
know.
the robot clone of Gumby
Pulls the sword out of the stone,
is going to be the new king of England.
and they're fighting, and Gumby takes a weapon off the wall because his pike is chopped into pieces.
Yep.
Yes, this untrained guy, the weapon he goes for is the flail, one of the most difficult medieval Western weapons.
He turns
to
into
use.
Sir Gawain,
No, he's not nearly as much of a fuck up as Sir Gawain.
but he might as well have gotten. I kind of wish there was the robot horse.
Yes,
Like the robot horse at one point just being ridden by Gumby, and he's got a lance.
Yes, but sadly no.
And he goes at him, and they make just a straight up Legend of Sir Gawain reference.
Why would anyone reference that? We're some of the only people who know that film exists.
I know, but I can dream.
And then Gumby Lancelot throws him a sword.
Yeah.
No, Galahad throws him a sword,
Galahad.
which he catches. The knight, by the way, is from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Here, catch this.
Hey, here's a sword.
Here's a sword. Forget about it.
Ayo. I wish he went AO when he threw it.
And the sword gets broken because he's fighting the sword and the stone.
Yep.
But he swings across the thing and crashes into a table. And then he rises out and gets cut in half by the Gumby robot, and then both halves are running, and it just stops at the guard goes across. So, hi, can I borrow this? Oh, of course. I don't see anything.
One half of him stops.
One half of it. Hey, could I borrow this? Of course. I don't see anything weird about this situation at all. And then the two halves fuse together, and he gets in the car with Tara, and they're running, and
Which if
the
half
Gumby
if
robot.
you saw a half a dead body run by you, and then the other half stop and ask you for a crossbow, you give him the crossbow.
And they're in the car, and Gumby is running exactly like the T-1000 in
Yeah.
Terminator 2. And he shoots the crossbow, but it does nothing. He's just... Then they call it a Star Wars. Sorry, Battle of the Nebulae.
Battle of the Nebulae, which I looked at Merrick and I asked Star Wars, and he said yes.
Yeah. And then we cut to the Star Wars shot with
Yep.
that typical shot. And then he goes in the armory and gets a lightsaber. Because of course he does. And then he cuts the sword and the stone in half with the lightsaber.
Yeah.
And then cuts his hand off. And only then realizes he's a robot.
It's like, oh, this whole time you've been a robot?
I thought you were me!
I was fighting myself. Actually, that would make more sense. I wish they could have just literally cut him in half and turned one evil.
Because Gumby can clone himself.
Yeah, exactly. They could literally just cut him in half and have two Gumbies, and it would make just as much, if not more sense.
Then the robot gets a lightsaber, and now the Terminator has a lightsaber, because in any other movie this would be awesome.
He is the king of England and also owns a lightsaber.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Darth.
And then they fight on the bridge, because of course they would. And Gumby loses his lightsaber. Then he escapes the book after being cut into 6 pieces, each of which becomes its own Gumby!
And this is perfectly fine with the girl, apparently, whom he gets in the car with later.
Yeah, Tara. Then they're running, and more Terminator chase scene.
Yeah.
With but one of his hands
This movie
is off.
cuts the Terminator 2 chase scene into 60 parts.
3 parts.
Well, yeah, like it cuts
Then
it down
the-
into like a
Then
shorter,
the fire,
shorter
the
bits.
dad's back with the fire truck, but also they go. A train almost hits the Terminator Gumby, but he just standing kicks it until it stops. Just
straight up
like
that front kicks.
the Winter Soldier kick, like when he kicks a guy.
Yeah, the front kick.
Yeah. Then it cuts its smokestack off with a lightsaber. And then they just...
This movie was insane.
And then they chase it to the he chased them to the electronics book, and then they take the fire truck and spray it with water.
Yeah, because Fireman is there.
Who's Gumby's dad, who only can think of, are you sure this is where Gumby said to go? There's no
speaks
smoke
of
or
only
fire.
the fire.
Thank you. Can I have a wheel now?
But what about the fire?
Push wheel.
But where's fire?
And then they
Fire?
and then they spray it at the robot and it melts. We're disappointed that while melting, the robot didn't just do the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Because you're already ripping off Terminator.
Yeah. I wish I could have just done it. It would have been great. I wanted him to melt into the floor, just holding up his thumb. It would be perfect.
And then
The
the
movie would've
blockheads
been-
send out the 3 other Clayboy robots.
Yeah.
Oh, we do see the Clayboy robots playing their music. It's... How can I explain this? Imagine you and your friends get really, really drunk and play rock band. And you miss every note. That's what it sounds like.
You're just literally mashing on the guitar randomly.
But not giving
and your friend in the back is on the drums flailing his arms.
Not giving a shit, though, because you're drunk.
Yeah. It's stone
So they
faced.
send...
Purely stone faced. No
The
expression
three of those-
whatsoever.
The 3 of them come out, and then they step in the water and just die.
Yep.
Obviously.
Because that's how robots work. We have robots nowadays that can step in a fucking puddle and still be fine.
And then they go in and they send this thing called the Gumby, which is a fucking bee with a hammer for a hand, which just builds boxes around things.
It's a bee that just comes in and builds wooden boxes around them. And this bee solely exists to arrest these 2 guys.
I remember that bee from the 50s show. It was in an episode. I can't remember what it did.
Did all of it.
It built boxes. It's used to stop fires somehow. I can't remember.
This bee is used to stop fires?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
And then they arrest the blockheads, and then they go do the show. They film a music video,
Yeah.
and they get there on
And
time.
they make it just in time. I called
just
that.
shoot the music video. And, oh, good lord, the music video.
I was like, they're gonna make it back in time. Oh yeah, by the way,
Okay, this music video.
this music video is the best
I'm
thing
not
in the
even
world.
going to try to explain this thing.
So they have the cameras all set up and everything in
And
the
they
barn.
do the music video. We're
Yeah.
not going to explain this. We can't. We can't explain this.
No, but at least the part with there's
Oh, yeah.
cameras in the barn.
Yep. Because they're
And the
filming a music
people
video
that
in a
are-
barn.
Yeah, exactly. And the people that are there are apparently
And
a
then
bunch
the
of white
bassist
people.
is asleep again.
Yeah, the bassist is still asleep.
Look,
There's a bunch of white people and Fat Albert
one
is
black
in there.
guy. And the
Yes.
one black guy in the world of Gumby is Fat Albert.
He notices what looks like Fat Albert in the background. And I'm just like, wait,
And
what?
And I'm not joking. It has the hairstyle. It has the sweater, the pants. He's fat. It's Fat Albert. Why? Why is Fat Albert in this movie?
So,
And then the bassist fucks up again because he jumps off the stage into a wheelbarrow and hits the stage and actually cartwheels into the drum kit, fucking everything up as a bassist does.
yep. But apparently the audience is cool with
Yeah,
it. They just laugh it off.
Why do we have an audience for a fucking music video?
Yeah. It's like, haha, he's a fuck up.
And then they get the drum set reset, and then they do the music video.
The music video.
The music is good. I like this tune.
Yeah, the
And I
music's
like
fine.
the singing voice of the woman.
If only it
sounds
wasn't.
like Pat Benatar.
Yeah, if only it wasn't in Gumby, the movie.
And if only it wasn't about Gumby.
If only it wasn't about
And
Gumby.
because there's no feasible way we could explain this song, just here's the music video.
Holy Toledo!
Shush. That's your cue, Pokey. Go ahead. You're on, boy.
Oh, all right.
And that happened.
That definitely did happen. And then and then Lowbelly cries a shit ton of pearls because of all that fucked up transformation.
Yeah,
but
I think the explanation for the dog not being able to cry just
it's because he only cries when Gumby's shapeshifting.
No, I think he only cries when Gumby is like when the band's instruments.
No, it's only when he shapeshifts. But that's what the computer says. But the computer is fucking wrong. He only cries when he sees Gumby shapeshift because he thinks he's not Gumby anymore because he has the intelligence of a fucking wiener dog.
Really?
Yeah,
that's the explanation.
That's the explanation.
That's the shittiest explanation ever.
And
So
and then they
because
make
the
like
dog is
so
stupid.
many pearls that they actually become worthless.
Yep.
For crying.
Well, unless they spent them, unless they sold them very slowly, in which case,
And then the
could
blockheads are doing slave labor on the farm,
yeah, they have them.
weeding a batch of vegetables.
By the way, they might as well have told them it's like you best not do anything else illegal. Straight up, like hints at them possibly growing the weed and selling it.
There's
from there.
no more. I don't want to see one weed in this garden.
I don't want to see one weed in these gardens.
And there's no sequel. Don't worry, guys. There is no Gumby 2.
I thank the Lord. There's no Gumby 2.
And okay, there's a movie called Gumby, but it has no Gumby in it. And it's not claymation either.
Fuck. I'm gonna put this paper bag on my head. I now have the paper bag on my head. Okay.
That happened. Dude, stop,
this
stop,
movie
stop,
made
stop,
my
it's
brain-
loud.
Yes. This movie made my brain soggy and moist.
And then they give all the money to the farmers, and they can save the farms, and they're giving loans, but with 3.5 interest instead of 25% interest.
Gumby saves the farms.
Yay! And then then Pokey and Gumby turn into squares and go into space and become the monolith again. And then they go into the TV on the moon. And then they turn it off. And then we get the credits and we get another music video. And I can't put this one in.
This one's stranger than the last.
It's just, look it up yourself. It's called He's Going This Way and That. And turns into Michael Jackson at one
which
point.
at the end he turns into Michael
And then it's
Jackson.
just, after this movie, any similarity to actual events is purely coincidental. It's not really. Gumby movie
Apparently
isn't based on a true story.
Yeah, apparently the guys, this movie isn't real, based off of real life.
I would never have guessed.
And apparently Michael Jackson being
It's coincidental.
a person, it's purely coincidental.
Ripping off Michael Jackson was a coincidence. Ripping off Star Wars was a coincidence.
What a coincidence! They both have laser swords.
Oh, but you see, the differences in Star Wars, laser swords are red, green, and blue. In this, laser swords are orange.
Purely coincidence.
Pure coincidence.
But hey, what do we know? The scene only opens up with a fucking Star Wars shot, like wide shot of a spaceship.
This movie. This is what you would see. I'm pretty sure this is what you would see if you just drop a lot of acid. And what would you watch SpongeBob? This is what it would turn into in your brain.
This movie was fun to watch.
Don't drop acid and watch this movie.
Please don't.
We're not liable if you do.
You're just hurting yourself.
Oh my god!
You're hurting yourself and the people around you.
So, what did you think of this film?
This film was scary, but funny and interesting, and had me questioning my sanity and very existence.
What do you give it as a score? In the usual way we score movies.
I give it
anything out of anything.
I give it 3 girl crying dogs out of a possible 6 Gumbies chopped up into gum pieces.
I give it I give it 2 useless side characters out of Cronenbergian body horror.
out of a one
out of three entities smushed into one
huge gory mess.
Brain hurts.
Fucking movie.
This movie exists.
This movie exists, I'm sure, purely to fuck with us. And humanity as a whole.
It has a 7.5 on IMDb.
Why am I not surprised? I want this movie. I want, like, your copy of this movie.
Why?
This one VHS copy of this movie. No, let me finish the sentence. I want this one VHS copy of this movie, yours, to be the last remnants of all of humanity. And so when the aliens show up, and to find out what we were all about, they find this.
Why would the aliens have a VCR?
They find this tape, they find a way to read it, because they're the aliens.
Well, aliens can do that, because they're aliens.
And I want this to be the one last remnants of all of human society.
Well, I know the hell of it.
What?
They got a DVD release.
I hope they find the DVD too.
I hope it got a Blu-ray release.
I hope.
I'm sorry, if Troll 2 got a Blu-ray release,
Yeah.
this deserves a Blu-ray.
I hope this movie shows up on Netflix soon.
It
It
Definitely
probably
not
never
Canadian
will.
Netflix.
Oh, it never will.
So, I've been Merrick Tomato,
And I've been Gio again.
and we'll see you on the next episode of Mindbreakers.
Mind's blown.
Minds have successfully been broken today.
Indeed.
Wow.
Later.
Bye.